great show.
Welcome to our very last International Creative Lab. We are really excited today because we've got two really wonderful artists coming to share with us a little bit of process. So let me explain a little bit first about the project and what you're about to see. So my name is Danny O'Hara. I am the Artistic Director at Slow Theatre Company, and we have been running for the last 6 months a project called an International Creative Lab. this is where we've tried to bring an artist from our home region, which is the Norfolk area in the UK, together with an artist elsewhere in the universe of the world, this universe, let's say that. The idea has been that whilst we are being locked down through the COVID pandemic, it is possible to still reach out and be touched through this square window by another artist. And what was particularly interesting was we were trying to bring together people from different disciplines. So for many of the people that took part, they hadn't worked with somebody from outside of their discipline. They hadn't worked remotely with somebody they'd never met. And this was what we wanted to challenge, because, creatives want to create, and we wanted to offer something, an outlet for where people could come and try and do that and question whether or not we can make something really that's worthwhile and touches us through this medium of the Zoom platform. So today we are very excited to have an artist all the way from Hong Kong and an artist who's living locally in Norfolk. But before we introduce them, I'm going to introduce you to our project assistant, Becky, who's just going to tell you a little bit about Slow Theatre Company.
Thanks, Danny. So yeah, hi, my name is Becky, and I am the project assistant for Slow Theatre Company, and I joined back in February 2020. So Slow Theatre Company is a not-for-profit theatre company based in Norfolk, and we try to create as much theatrical happenings as we can using multidisciplines and artists and people within the community. Our work has taken us into small communities, sometimes with people who are feeling challenged or have challenges, and this can happen anywhere within Norfolk. Unfortunately, just like most people within the arts here in the UK and around the globe, we have been hit with COVID lockdowns and the challenges that is brought to artists. So we have to change the way we communicate and create. This project has been created directly out of the challenges artists are facing due to COVID, and hopefully this creative exchange lets them experiment and create and communicate in different ways. So this is our second international project and our seventh and final exchange. And we want to remind you that even the smallest communities are not isolated. So this is our first research project for freelance artists, and we hope to inspire artists and others to communicate online, considering lowering their carbon footprint, and communicate with each other online and around the globe. So if you want to check us out or know any more about us, you can always check our website, or you can check out any of the other exchanges on our Facebook and YouTube. There we are.
Great, thank you, Becky. So let's get on to the exciting part that we're actually waiting for, which is where we will bring two people together to spend the next 60 to 70 minutes experimenting, inviting each other to respond to something that they're creating or to just watch and listen. What is it that you're going to see? Well, it's something that's in the making. It's the beginning stages. It's not a final performance. So that's really important to be aware of. This is something, a new beginning. So it's giving you an idea of how you could work or how other people work. So we're looking at the process that these two artists particularly have chosen to share with each other. It's an invite. It's an experiment, and we invite you to watch along and see this space that we don't normally see, that little crack behind the doorway when two people come together into a studio and start to do something together. We have a starting point. We've asked all our artists to consider the saying "you, me, here, now," and from that they have absolute open freedom. So with that in mind, we don't know what's going to come over the next hour, so there may be the use of swearing or adult themes, so we recommend an audience of 14 plus for this. Let's get the artists on. Let's not talk any more about it. Let's see it happening. Come on up, please. I'd love to introduce you to Ruth Bina, who is living in Norfolk right now and is a performance artist, live art, and she will be connecting with Wei Kit Lam, or Kit as she likes to go by, to her friends, which we hope we are, who is in Hong Kong, who is also an art performist and sound artist, amongst other things. So I'm going to leave you to it. We are here in the background. Obviously, call on us at any time if you need us. But for now, I look forward to seeing you at the end. And for our audience, just to let you know, if you have any questions, please type them up in the social media and we'll have a question and answer session at the end of this. Have fun.
Hello, Ruth.
Oh, no, I was just talking to you. I just said, how are you doing today?
Exciting.
Okay.
The only thing I can say, because I try to prepare everything, but I know that because this is the interactive exchange that I've never done before. So, and then I really don't know what will happen. But I'm welcome to anything to happen.
Yeah, me too. Let's just yeah, play a bit, I would say. Yeah, we had this little idea of because you asked me in a message that we could send each other. There was this message you sent me before we knew we're going to be a pair collaborating together, which was about proverbs, that you want to find out about English proverbs and the meaning, and because we come from different cultures and have different proverbs that we use. So I'm German, so I know different ones in German, and I really like the idea. And I was been thinking, yeah, that could be a good idea as a starting point to get inspired by proverbs. But instead of telling you the ones I know, yeah, I'd like to use them as an inspiration to perform, and to use objects. And yeah, I'm not going to tell you everything because it's yeah. Do you said you're going to make the sound? Are you ready?
Yeah, because I'm also really interested about culture.
Yeah.
I'm from Hong Kong, and then how to say is Hong Kong is a really international city. So since I was young, and then I got in touch with many different kinds of culture, and then sometimes I found that we got something really similar, like some poems, like I can say saying, okay. So and then when I found it, even my friends from the other culture, they got something really similar to me. Then I asked myself, so who are we? Why we got something similar? And certainly something we are different, but I think we are not cats or dogs or elephant. So we got something similar. So and this is my first time to try something new, because you are going to move to do some movements, right? And then I'm going to play with my MIDI keyboard to make some sounds in order to respond to your movement. And then altogether, I will say some words, either in Cantonese or in English or blah, 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 anything. So we can do something like this. And what do you think about in the first saying that you don't tell me what's that, and you just move. And then I just, based on your movements, and then I play some sounds.
Well, so you don't have to guess what this proverb is, or because it will be abstract and it will be
yes, exactly,
not an illustration of it. Yeah. So
yes, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So how about maybe you can start first?
Yeah.
To do your movements, and then I play the sound, right?
Okay, I just go off screen for a moment and then I come back.
Okay.
Get your.
Yeah, me too. I have to share the sound too.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, exciting.
Back in a bit. So.
Okay, I can see you. Nice. Nice background as well. So you start now or just tell me when you start, okay?
I'm starting.
I'm sorry.
A moment. Okay, that was the first.
Yes, yes. I don't know. I mean, it's really exciting because how to say? I try yesterday or today, but I never expect how it is.
Yeah.
So do you think anything about my sound or how it works? Or
Yeah, it felt like almost like film music or something. I feel like it works really well when you make the sounds. I felt encouraged to try things that I haven't actually thought of. I mean, obviously I have thought about, oh, what could I do today? But then just a few images I have in mind, and it's always the way I work. I have an image, I think, oh, that's really, I'd love to see that and love to try that. But it's only a tiny bit of the whole thing that's going to happen. So the sounds really help me to, like, I go along with your sounds as well. So it really works.
I go along with your movements
Yeah.
as well because when I saw you, I mean, like for example, like face closing to the camera, and then it seems like this is like something like tension because like you are pushing me, so that's why maybe you have some sounds like I play like continuously and the sounds become faster and louder in order to tell you the tension that I felt. So this is what I try.
Would you like to know what the inspiration was?
Yes, please.
It's a proverb that I learned since I've come to the UK in the last year. I really like that. It's called it's all mouth and no trousers. Do you know what it means?
No, what's that?
Well, it's hard to explain because I'm not English, but I think it's kind of similar to having a big mouth and talking a lot and kind of showing off, but there's not much there.
Okay. So can you tell me the sentence again?
All mouth and no
Okay.
trousers.
Oh.
But later, all the English people can correct me later if I got it wrong with the meaning. But I really like the image of all mouth and no trousers. It's kind of
Yes.
I
not only the images, I mean the movement you made, and I imagine someone, a man or woman, doesn't matter. Just like what you talk about. Oh, it's interesting. I like it.
It's funny because on Zoom, I mean, we've all been doing lots of stuff on Zoom in the past year. And you only see this bit. You don't see if anyone's wearing any trousers. So, yeah. Trousers.
Yeah, that's really good. So, and then
how should we continue? Do you want to do one as well, or how?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I got a list here. Okay, so and then I can do some songs, which is based on the meaning of the Chinese saying that I found.
Okay.
And then certainly just like what you did, I tell you what's that at the end. Okay. So okay, let me change the sound first. I change it into another sound. Hold on. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Just gonna put some light.
Okay. Oh, exciting. Because, I didn't write down what I'm going to pay. I also pay from instant with the sentence as well. So it's just more like what I did yet. So, but I keep the sentence in my mind. Okay. All right. Okay, I start now. Okay. Oh, sorry. Is it right? Okay. Yeah. drink. This one is more difficult than the last one. I guess why? Because the first one, I mean, and then I just look at the movement, and I didn't think too much. I just used my instinct to play it. But this one, maybe because I got something in my mind, and I try my best to express what I want to tell you. But it seems like, I mean, I don't know how about the others, but for me, it seems like it doesn't work well.
Why?
I don't know, but then I tell you what's the saying I found this one. Okay. In Chinese, okay, I know I got so many friends, I mean, from Hong Kong, they speak Cantonese, so I will say in Cantonese first. It's called 此地無銀三百兩. Means, if someone say this, that means, oh, in this place, there is no 300 pounds or $300. It's written really big. Here, we don't have $300.
Yeah.
Okay, this is like, the meaning is like, you want to hide something, but more you want to hide, more you show it. That means if someone hides something, some money in the corner somewhere, but maybe he or she really worried that someone will take it, and it's written, no, there's no money, there's no $300 inside here in the corner. So this is what I told you. Yes,
It's like
means,
there's nothing to see here.
Yeah. So that means I mean, more you want to hide, more you show to the others what's happened. So and then so this is like yes, this is something. No, you understand.
It reminds me on something that I know from some lyrics. I don't know if it's a proverb, but you have to be bigger than the things that you hide.
Ah.
So you can't hide something that's bigger than you.
Ah. Maybe more or less the same. No, this is not really the same.
No, I think it's very different.
I know. Because in this way, when we say 此地無銀三百兩 means, for example, if you want to, if you did something really bad, for example, okay, you want to hide it. You don't want the others to know that you did something bad. And then maybe you try, oh, I'm really good, you know, I did something really nice. I'm really good to this and that. But, you know, more you say this, they said, no, why are you saying this way? Because you did something really bad or really wrong. So that's why you want to try it. But so that means more you say, more you're wrong. So this is, yeah.
Well, interesting. Like I think I don't know any similar proverb. It's very specific. But yeah, I was just listening to the sounds you made, and I found it. At first, you know, I tried to, because I have a table of objects here. Yeah, I kind of got everything together, like make performance with things you find at home. And yeah, I just started with an object, but it didn't feel right because so I found it easier to go along with movements and then just decide, oh, my hands, it's just going to be my hands, which is works quite well here in the dark, and I can just isolate my body from them. Because I could,
and also when I
quite abstract, I can't.
Yeah, because when I saw that, when I play some sound like dang dang dang, I saw really well. You try to use your fingers to make the movement that is really similar, match to the sound. Like, is it like something like this, right? Like, yeah. So I like that one really much because you really show, like, how to say, I don't know, but, and also, okay, because of the background, because it's really dark. It seems like, okay, when you were really far away, I couldn't see you. It seems like you're hiding. Then you appear again. Then, okay, I'm hiding and appear again and say, oh, yes, this is like the meaning. Okay, hiding or disappearing or appearing again.
Yeah, you're right.
But at the beginning, you got an object,
you know what
right?
It means. When you know what it means, then you can see it. No, I mean, when you know the proverb, so you can see if there are any relations to the
Yeah,
things.
yeah. But one thing I want to say, at the beginning, you got an object, right? Can I see the object? What's that?
I think it's something, oops.
Like crystal?
Yeah,
Not crystal, plastic.
in a bottle, like in a maybe wine bottle or something.
Yeah, okay.
Like,
All right. Okay. So, and then, but I was quite exciting to see you hold an object because, this thing is like you want to hide something.
yeah.
Yeah, but I thought,
distracting everyone's hands.
Yeah, and then I said, oh, you got an object. Are you going to hide it? But then disappear.
Yeah. See, you forgot about it. Do you want to? Should we go on with another one? We can also just completely improvise.
Yeah.
Later,
and then I can also, while I'm playing the sound, I can speak something that we can try this time. It's okay.
Okay.
Just add something different. I don't know if I remember or not. Maybe I forgot. Then I changed to another sound now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something. Are you up for another?
Yes, I got another sound effect now. Let's see if it works or not. I hope.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Right. Can you see my hands?
Yes. Wow.
I'm just gonna use this one now.
Mm-hmm. Fierce. Desire. What do I want? Where can I go? Stick together. Together. Separate. Where's it? Where to put? Longing. New beginning. Hope. Love. Touch. I like it.
Hard to see, isn't it?
Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I like it really much. It's really touch.
Yeah,
It's really touching.
literally.
Yeah, I really like it. Since you drip some, is it wax or no? Some what's that?
Yeah,
Wax.
wax.
Wow, but it's so hot, right?
That's all right. I try. It wasn't no, it wasn't too bad. But yeah, do you want to get yeah, what was on your mind when you
Oh yeah.
I
Before you tell
heard
me,
the words.
yeah. When I watch it, I see this is like a relationship. Even you got one hand and then someone dripping and got another hand, looks like something touching. It's kind of relationship. I don't know, but the relationship is like, okay, I couldn't feel the hotness because I only saw the images. Okay, but I guess maybe this is quite hot because I guess it's wax, and then I see the wax just shape your hands, and then separate, and then they touch again, and then you put it here on the face, and then I don't know. It's like something about relationship. This is what I guess. Okay, so
Yeah.
tell me the saying. What's that?
It's actually something different, but it really connects. The proverb or saying is every cloud has a silver lining, and I learned that during. I just really I thought about it a lot because of the pandemic and being here in England and kind of trapped. But do you know what it means? Every cloud has a silver lining.
Yeah, I heard about it, but maybe you can explain it to our audience as well, because maybe someone who are watching it, maybe they didn't know.
Well, everything bad that's happening has something good coming out of it. That's how I would explain it.
Yeah.
So, for example, in this pandemic, I mean, the silver lining is, for example, that we can now have this exchange.
Yeah.
We would have never met, It doesn't mean that you always have to think positively about everything. But there's always something good when you think it's everything is terrible and horribly wrong. So I just had this idea of using this wax as a cloud, basically, but then also I thought of touch, and like we're not able to touch in these things. Yeah, and kind of improvised with that. Yeah, and it's really it's I feel when you say these words, I kind of go along with it, and it's really it's fun to when you say these words or you play these sounds, then it makes me think of other things I could try.
Okay.
So we can do that for the next thing.
Please, I think it's good because you got something just from this one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay,
maybe this is the last one we try, right? Because it's about 48 minutes. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so you're going to play something that is based on the words I said, right?
Okay.
And the sound, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, let me try to find another sound effect. Yeah, I'm going to find some. Okay, even I don't know what are you going to do, but I want to change some.
You mean you play and say words at the same time?
No.
So like you just did?
Yeah. And then you did what you found. Yes, right? Okay, let me change the sound effects first.
Okay, we shouldn't worry about time. We have 18 minutes.
Oh, yeah. 70 or 60 or 70, so it's okay. Okay, so, yeah.
What did I do?
Okay. Okay, so Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Love, growing, continue, death, death, life, cutting, continue, life, Finish? Finish? No. Yes. No. Yes. Life. Over. Start again. Over. Start again. My own. A gift for life. Come back again. What's that? I don't know. Is it life? Going to the past. History. Asian town. I know nothing. healing or not. Is it life? What is life? Oh, it's interesting to see at the end you got the fruit. I never expect.
Yeah, just I had this moment where I realized, oh, I have something, and I went to the fridge. I have something that looks exactly the same.
Yes, because I was wondering, is it finished? But you came back. So it's like, no, it's not finished. You got something in your hand. So I just wonder, what's that? So it's so surprising indeed.
Yeah, it was a surprise for me too. But actually, it's gone. It's funny because it's with the music, I felt like it's all gone really morbid, and also because of the light and everything, a bit like in a horror film. But yeah, and actually, I'd love to try that again sometime.
Yeah.
This
Is it quizzes? Are we going to finish quiz? Right?
oh,
Yeah.
but we talked in a bit.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Waikit, you may go and have a quick gasp of water if you need it. We have a moment now for us to move over to the Q&A. But I really love the fact that image is still there, like almost like a Rembrandt painting. I can't quite work out the artist that might be, but do you need a break, you two, or do you want to go straight into the Q&A?
I think I'm just going to wash my hands.
Yeah, great. So take a moment. So for all of you that are watching, thank you so much for taking part on our social medias and watching. This is a chance now for you to actually ask any questions about what you've just seen, or ask a question to the artist directly about their process. As I said before, we invited you to come in and view what we were seeing through the eyes of experiment, through the eyes of improvised and workshop, not a final performance. Although there were moments there when I was completely mesmerized by the coming together of the sound and the image and the responses that they were having to each other. And as you can see, what we have left, it's very, very photographic, very image based, and you really could look at those images for quite some time and have your own interpretation of what you're seeing. When you consider that these artists have met each other online and have spoke to each other for less than 2 hours, how is it that we can create something or respond to each other in this way? Or is that just part of being an artist, that's a natural thing that we can all do? I'm not sure it is, but I think it's been amazing to watch these artists be so brave today and be so vulnerable. Because they are obviously being inside a space together, but we're watching that space. So they've really put themselves on the line there to be able to play an experiment, knowing that someone's peeking in. But I'm glad that they have allowed us to peek in, because it's been quite sensational to watch. So if the artists are ready, we'll move on to our Q&A and look forward to actually hearing from the artists themselves and not just from me. We've had some really interesting comments. So as you come on back, if you just want to turn your audio on, and we'll just wait for Kit to come back. But we've had some really fun comments on about the work as it's been progressing through the time together. There was a moment where Ruth, they said somebody mentioned it's almost between an Edvard Munch Buddhism combination. I think that was at the beginning on the first one where you responded. You were presenting All Mouth No Trousers, which I thought was really interesting and brave of you, because you're not a native English person, and that's quite a colloquial All Mouth No Trousers. But I thought, how exciting! Really, it was such a great, exciting start, and it is a saying that we do use when someone's bragging. It's clearly a male point of view as well, but I love what you did with it and brought it back into current times with, no one knows what we're wearing down below. And that's quite interesting.
Well, also with the filter, I discovered there are all these filters now on Zoom. So just the same like with all the other social media, and it just, you can even have eyebrows on, and it looks so real.
Oh,
You don't even, need makeup on. You just put
yeah.
these filters on, and then you
Yeah,
you look really good.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. That whole idea that you make an effort from this sort of way up, but down below, yeah, not so much. Great. So I was just having another look while we wait for Kit to come back. There was real interest in the way that you use the Zoom backgrounds, and how at one point the bagginess of the Zoom background you really played with that and you lent into it. So we might come on to that in a second, which was fun. And there was definitely a comment about the minimalism of everything. But while we're waiting for Kit to return, let's just have a quick look at that visual that you've made. I don't know if Chris is there at the moment, but it'd be lovely just to pin that. Not that one, although that is quite fantastic too. Because actually, let's start with that then. Tell me what you see when you look at that now.
Well, it's kind of, it became something different actually now seeing it on the screen, because I thought of it as a cloud and a kind of a rainy cloud, and now it's it's become something really horrible, kind of, because it looks burned. And what I had in mind was, basically.
Do you want to just speak to the camera a bit, because we can't quite see it? We can see it there.
Yeah, the meaning of touch, like how that has transformed in the past years because of the pandemic, how dangerous and life-threatening it has become, and and this really looks like I don't know, almost like a burned body part, almost.
Yeah. Also, like almost like a hand that's kind of snake-like, where it's left a skin. Yeah, I would really say that has quite a sinister feel to it when I look at it, for example.
I had actually something different in mind, and because I obviously haven't tried it, like rehearsed it or anything, so I thought it will be like a kind of ghostly touch, if I shine the light through it, it will be a bit see-through, and but it's a really different, it feels really different just when I look at it. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
So let's talk about that then while we wait for Kit to come back. You had an idea and you didn't try it out, but you then brought it to this experimental rehearsal room, which is exactly the idea.
Yeah.
You tried it out and something different occurred. So is that normal practice for you? Is that something where you would go into a room on your own and start working, and then so was this directly how you would normally
Yeah, it's actually very exactly how I normally work. So I have, as I said in the beginning, I have an image in mind, and I have certain material that I find interesting, or objects. So in this case, I have this, I probably can't see it when I turn around now. Much light there. No. No, you can't see it. But I have a selection of objects that I thought would be useful, and some of them. So I decided to use some materials today, because I just had this image in my mind. So I tried out the wax on my hand before so that I wouldn't burst out in tears or scream or anything. And I thought, okay, that works. Yeah, I tried that. But obviously I didn't try it too much, because I need this moment of surprise as well when I'm doing it. So I experienced it the first time with the audience. And that's how I work generally. I let the material surprise me as well. But it's actually a life-saving to try materials before. So for example, if you work with fire or anything, you have to try it out before, or you have to talk to specialists before you do anything. Otherwise, there are so many horrible stories that went where performance artists didn't do their research and it went really wrong.
Yeah, Okay,
Yeah.
so they need, we need to see you at the end of it. It can't be enough that it's for the art, for the sake of the art, that you take your hand off. What was interesting too, obviously, was because you were responding to the sounds that Kit was making. And how much would you normally have somebody else in a room with you when you're working? Or what kind of how different was this process to have an actual live performer responding to your every move?
Hmm. Well, I've had that before, but I think I find it really challenging actually, because mostly when I perform, then I I dive so much into it that then I really have to get myself out of it again to really listen and look at what's happening around me, because it's like almost like some kind of trance. um, but sorry, can you ask the question again?
Yeah, so the question was, is it normal for you to have somebody else there that you were responding to? Because you had the idea with the wax,
Yeah,
but you then you responded to the sounds that Kit was making. So there was
yeah.
another element to what your normal process might have been.
Yeah, I think normally I work on my own and I feel quite comfortable in that space. That's why it's good to have this challenge of collaborating, because I don't just want to have my idea and then just do whatever I have in mind. I also, then what happened because of the sound, I kind of got out of it and thought, oh, and what could happen next? And be inspired by the music, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, great to have you back, Kit. So, Ruth, I wonder if we could maybe take down the cameras so we've got just the two of you, and we'll really talk and answer some of the questions that have been asked. We were just looking at some of the artworks that seem to have come out of this kit. So I'm going to ask you the same question, because this has been a question that has come up as well during the exchange. How normal is it for you to respond to another person in the way that you did today? Is that part of your normal process, or has this been something out the normal? Oh, we can't hear you, Kit.
And this is the first time I made something like this, because my media is usually photography, video, and even I make sound, but I made it for my photographs or videos, and then text, and I use a lot of text in the past few years. But many visual artists like me, I work at home, so indeed, even we're having COVID, it's not so much infect me, because I always work at home and by myself. And then I'm not sure about the other people. I mean, usually people who take photos, if I go out with someone, I can never take any good photos. I can only take good photos when I was alone, either at home or somewhere. And then, yesterday, no, some days ago, a friend of mine said, "Oh no, kids, you did so many videos about portrait, my self portrait. Usually, I put myself like to perform in my video, but maybe you got used to perform." I said, no, 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 it's completely different, because even when I perform for my own video, there's no audience at all. And there's no interactive with the other people who are around me. And then, okay, maybe the point is when I look at myself, I mean, when I made a video in the self-portrait, okay, the interaction maybe between myself and my image is not with the other people. So indeed, it is so difficult. No, I cannot say difficult. It's so exciting and so challenging for me to look at someone like, what Ruth did. And then I made something. And also, okay, you heard sound, but indeed, I'm not the musician. I'm not the composer. Even I played piano and a Chinese musical instrument, guzhang, the really long thing like this before when I was young. But I cannot say I forgot everything. I almost forgot everything. Unfortunately, oh no, maybe fortunately, because I learned the rhythm. I learned how to play music. So, and I think the idea of a rhythm is quite deep in my mind. So when I play music, play the media keyboard, I just try to remember the rhythm. And also every time when I edit my video, it seems like I'm doing composing. It's quite similar. It's more or less the same, because not only about video and also about like painting, photography. We got the rhythm, the strength, the weakness, blah blah blah. So, but it is so exciting for me. And after we finished the 1 hour, I was like, oh, I did it! I can't believe that.
You know what is really interesting is that I'm hearing both of you say that actually normally your process is really individual and inside, and very much you have your process and your ritual actually to enter into something. And this is quite different. And yeah, when we were watching you, it felt really natural. It felt really exciting how you responded so naturally to each other. So, with that in mind, if, for example, there's other people looking who normally work really alone, really introvertedly, and we're not suggesting that that's not the way they want to continue working, but if they wanted to tiptoe out and do something with someone else, even if it just brings something to their own process themselves, may not be about having a final product. What would you say to them about putting your foot into something which seems quite challenging for both of you? Let's ask Ruth first.
Yeah. Well, I think I'd say do something that scares you. Well, or at least that's always how I approach doing making art, but also generally anything in life. When you think, oh, that's not what I normally do, then okay, I'm gonna try it anyway, because then there are really new things emerging that you have never thought about. And I think it's also a good way to let go of, especially when you have this like, this is how I always do it, this is my idea, and I think it's important to sometimes enter this space of uncertainty to discover something new, let go. Yeah, and loosen up.
Okay.
I agree with both, because every time when I, for example, if I go to artist in residence or like festivals, and I really challenge myself to make something new. For example, like to do something I've never done. Okay, maybe that is not completely different, but I try to find something that I've never tried. So I think it's very important for anyone, not only artists, for anyone. If not, we are going to die soon.
Yeah, life thought, basically. Another proverb or another saying that we could have used. Yeah. What's one of the things that I would that came up in the conversation for us was going forward. Before we talk about what might happen with what you've already done, I'm just interested to know how this might change some of your practices or question, or was it just a lovely experiment and actually, it was just a nice experience.
Should I start?
Yeah.
Well, actually, this has been really interesting because of the video, this screen perspective, because normally, I perform in front of an audience and it's live. And so normally I would also, when I perform, I think of ways to interact with the audience. And this time I couldn't see who's watching, how many people are watching. And it's kind of good as well, because I'm less nervous and I felt like it could be more in the moment. And I felt like, Kit and me are actually in one room together alone. And some people are looking in and watching, that's okay. So I felt I was more daring. And also it was really new to me to use these different perspectives, because normally I can't, or it's quite a challenge to guide the view of the audience. Does that make sense? So when I'm in front of the audience, they can see everything. They can see my whole body, and I'm quite exposed. And if I want them to look at something I have in my hand, for example, what do I do so that they can see it? And it's so far away. So now that's why I chose these different cameras to be able to actually have a close-up of something. And that's totally new. And I thought I'd like to experiment more with that and maybe make performance for video, or because, you know, we might be in this situation for a bit longer. And yeah, I'd like to try more things for camera. Yeah.
And for me, I want to try to make something different as well, because it's something really new for me. Even I tried to make sounds for my videos before. And, you know, it's very interesting to know that Ruth said it seems like we were in the same room at the same time. There's no one else, right? It reminds me of when I was like teaching online. And then it's really similar because I really try to know how my students will act. For example, like if they understand my teaching or not, but if I'm face to face, I can catch their feelings quite well. It's not so difficult, but in Zoom like this, I could understand more. But is it possible to make it better, or I would like to make a new piece of work based on this exchange, even though now I don't know what's that, but I will try to write down something, maybe write down the words that I spoke already, and maybe I don't know what's that. Okay, anyway. So, and then we record this, right? So maybe I can catch some video clips from the video from what Ruth did, and maybe do something. So, and then it's really challenging. So absolutely, this is a really good try because it's so difficult for me, I can say.
Well, that leads really nicely into the two questions that I've got that have just cropped up. So somebody on YouTube has asked, would you do it again? Would you do it again with each other? And I guess, would you do it again with a complete stranger if this was an opportunity?
Anyway, for me, it depends.
I was just about to ask you that actually, Kit, if you would be up for, because if you want to make a piece of work out of this, I'd be also up for somehow delivering something to you.
Yeah.
That's interesting because that comes to our next question, which was, how do the artists think their work today might be developed further? An installation, a performance, sound, video piece, or perhaps they feel that this was complete experience in itself. But it sounds to me like you feel like whether you work together or individually, this has got legs. This is meant something to keep working on.
Yeah, I mean, Kit, for you probably would you go back to your medium photography or what?
I'm not sure, but I will get some video stocks. I mean, the performance you did already, I'm not sure. Yeah. And then I will write down something. I mean, maybe my own feeling, because, you know, when I saw, especially the last one, if you found that at the beginning of the last one, I didn't say anything because I was so concentrated on seeing what you were doing, because I suddenly thought, oh no, I have to say something, and then suddenly I remember. Then, you know, this is like I really don't know what's going on in the last one. I was really lost. I don't know if you feel or not. I was quite lost indeed, especially when I found that you came back. I said, no, you are coming back. So that means I have to do something again. So, and then
this just shows up the process that you're going through, isn't it? I mean, you know, if this was in a normal studio, you'd all be going for lunch now, and you'd maybe take the afternoon to sit down and do your own thoughts and process them before you came back together. And then later maybe you'd come back in the studio together and say, this is how I felt, or this is what spoke to me. So it's fun. it's brave of you to tell us how lost you got in the last one, but I also find that
I totally lost. I really totally lost.
Yeah, but that isn't that what art form creating and making is all about? We have moments where the chaos comes in and we say, I'm not sure what's happening now.
It happens so often for any artist, I think. And then I think it's very important. It's really good if you are lost sometimes. Okay, if you tell me you lost forever, I think it's a problem, all right? But if you don't lose, and then it seems like everything is inevitable. It seems like it's so easy. It seems like it is, yeah, okay, come on, this is like this. I don't like it. And certainly it's impossible. So and then we lost, and then we come back and we try to understand ourselves more, and then even something you thought at the beginning maybe it's like this, but because something happened, then you thought, oh no, this is not exactly what I thought. This is normal, and I think it's very important and good.
We're nearly going to close up, but I wanted to just highlight that both of you were doing this in I guess your second language or maybe your third language. I'm not sure. Neither of you speak English fluent. You both speak English fluently. What I wanted to say is, it's not. How difficult or easy was it to think I can work with another artist who I've never met, who's in a completely different place, and actually I'm going to be doing it in not my own natural language, because one would imagine that when the artist when you work alone, you probably do it in your own language, right?
For me, it's how to say, because I got used to cooperate with the other artists from the other countries, so it's not so different for me indeed. And then I'm not sure about the others. Danny, you also speak Spanish, right? I remember once I heard you spoke a little bit, right?
Yeah, I think we call
And then
Spanish.
the también, yo también,
Yeah.
pero solo un poco. Okay, so when I speak in Cantonese, I use the Chinese way to think. When I speak in English, I use another way to think. When I speak in Spanish, I use another way to think. So this is really interesting and good for me to speak in different languages. Like, for example, when I think about the title of my artwork, I mean, not this one, okay, maybe a previous one. And then maybe I got some idea in my mind in Chinese. And then I try to use the dictionary to find the English word, which one is the best to describe my Chinese one, because in Hong Kong we use both. Usually, no, always I give both the Chinese and English artist statement and the title. And then when I, for example, originally I think in Chinese, then when I found an English word which is much better to describe my feeling and my idea, I even changed my Chinese. So this is like the kind of like interchange. And then more languages I know, okay, even a little bit, I try to find the dictionary again. The Spanish dictionary and the Italian dictionary, and see which word is the best to describe. And in the computer, now with the internet, even in English, I found one word, but there's so many similar words that it's got similar ideas and meaning. And then more and more I found that, okay, finally the dictionaries help me to understand myself. The languages help me rather than, they're just from my own language. So it's just really fine for me. I really like it.
Yeah. How about you, Ruth?
Yeah, it's I agree with what Kit says. That I think if I get it right, they're just in different languages. We have different expressions and words, and they are not the same in every language. So that's why I thought it would be good if because different language. I know English and German, obviously, but a bit of French. But sometimes, in English, there are things that are more precise than what I want to say in German. So that happens that I even mix up the languages, and the same the other way around. Yeah, but I do obviously feel more comfortable in my own language, but especially when I'm nervous, I'm getting all. But I think also it's important to just not judge oneself and just
Yeah.
But I'm really curious because How about the body gesture? If you speak in another language, do you use another body gesture as well, or more or
No,
less the same?
I think I know that I have a different tone of my voice when I speak. At least that's what my partner says. When I speak German, I sound different. So, but I don't know about the gestures. I would have to ask friends or family. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really interesting question, Kate, because yes, having lived abroad myself, I do know that gestures can be quite different, and you might find
Yes.
a hand doing something that in one culture means one thing and not another. And
Yeah.
we're going to wrap it up with this last comment that came in, which really feeds into the whole conversation. I'm going to read it out because it's quite long. It says, I suppose it made me think what Kit just said, if art is going to be more important than ever for everyday communication. As a teacher, I've had the same online emotional reading experiences, but when we engage in critical listening, all that kind of melts away. Do you think this kind of language could be used by all, even those who don't see themselves as artists or experts in the media? And I mean, I think that
It's really long.
yeah, I think that basically it's this idea of really reaching in and hearing each other through this medium, even though we have it's a harder thing to do than when you're in person. But I think you've reflected on how you managed to you managed to block out everything else, and suddenly it did feel like you were in a room together. So maybe that's
Is the question about whether artists or non-artists can do? I don't know. I'm not sure if I get the question.
yeah. As a teacher, do you think that this kind of language could be used by all, even those who don't see themselves as artists?
Yeah, definitely.
This idea of being, I think it was what you were talking about, Kit, about really responding emotionally through the screen with your students, even though you had to get used to doing that in a different way. But I think,
Yeah, because when I teach face to face, it's really interesting to see. I really felt that it's like a kind of performance. Maybe performance is not the right word to describe, but it is indeed. And then I got a really interesting experience. Many years ago, I taught in a university, and that university is a performing art university, and all the students, maybe they studied acting, lighting, director, script writing, okay, all kind of performance. And I was teaching in the room of the ballet. That means I got the mirror in the room, the big mirror, okay. So and then okay, the student was sitting in front of the mirror, but I was standing in front of the mirror, and I look at myself, I look at my students, and I look at myself how I perform.
oh, yes, yeah, yeah.
And then at the moment I found, okay, I know, I move a lot. Okay, I'm not really a Chinese, okay, because I move a lot. Then because I saw myself, and then I say, how can I teach better if I can match up my performance? I mean, my gesture or the way how I speak, and then how to attract the student to understand my teaching and interest with my teaching as well. So then this is really interesting to know if you are conscious about that maybe you're performing or maybe not.
You're really dabbling on the idea of when is it life and when is it performance, that the blend
Yes.
of, and how do we as artists represent that, or how is the normal represented anyway? Yes, yeah. Oh, it's gone deep. It's gone deep. Yay. That's great. Ruth, do you have anything to add to that?
Well, I just think we're performing pretty much all the time. Really, only when we're alone and nobody's looking, and we're not.
Unless
Don't
we're
worry, Ruth. Don't worry, because some of my students told me already they are watching it now. So okay, at least some. Okay, don't worry. We are not in a single room.
the last comment was that somebody said they were inspired to hear that you were playing the piano again, Kit, after all this time. And I think that has the one last thing I wanted to say was, if you can be so you have your photography and everything else, but you've decided that sound was important, and you didn't stop yourself and say, I'm not a musician, I can't bring sound in. You went and you used what you had, and I would imagine that you've developed all of that. But that I find really inspiring, because I think even when you're a theatre maker or a maker, you can put barriers to what you think you should do, even though your mind might say, this really needs colour. Oh no, I'm not an artist, I don't know how to put colour together. Or this really needs sounds, I'm not a musician. And you can even start to do it and then apologise and say, I've done this, but I'm not a musician, I'm not a musician. And I think if there's something we can take away, Kit, is that, you know what, just do and make. And don't apologise. I think that's probably a really good sentiment of the day.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Great. Well, I just want to thank you both so much. This is the end of our International Creative Lab. We hope that we might continue in the months to come if we are successful in trying to find some more funding. But I do want to say that this has just been an absolute joy today. I can't believe we're in January and that we're saying goodbye to the project. But when we organised this back in August, I sent you the details, and it was like, hold on there, another 5-6 months before you do it. But we've got there, and it was really worth the wait. So a big thank you to you, Ruth, and to you, Kit. Thank you to Chris in the background and Becky, who's the project assistant. Thank you to Louise from Louise Orin, who would have been facilitating today if she had not been unwell, but was here through the process. And to all of you that watched and commented. You can see all the exchanges. There are 7 with very different looks to them, all on the YouTube. They're all free. Please just share with your colleagues and your friends and your networks. These are supposed to be a free inspiration or a dip in and a look that you may find useful, you may not, but it's there for you as a resource. So we hope that from everyone at Slow Theatre Company, we hope that it is something that is useful for you. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you so much as well. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.